brutal lesbian named the Biker Queen arrives at a remote bar in the desert. She shoots at point-blank range a local dog, in whose mouth a human hand is clamped. Looking at the limb, the woman sees the tattoo and realizes that it is part of her sister Harley. Finding an elderly bartender under parked cars, she tortures him, wanting to find out who did it all. Having heard where the survivors went, the biker rides after, taking the old man with her. 16 hours before that, the dwarf brothers known as Thunder and Lightning spend time at home. While one is having fun with a girl, the other is just watching TV. Their attention is attracted by the noise on the street, and then they watch in horror as a girl is pulled out of the bedroom window by an incomprehensible creature. The whole trailer park is literally on its ears. Therefore, the brothers are fleeing. A homeless hob was put behind bars for distributing seals. He refuses to testify, despite the fact that the officers have been holding him in a stinking cell for the 7th day. Reflecting on life, Hoba hears screams outside, and then in the form of a policeman who was thrown to his bars. The man immediately reaches for a bunch of keys attached to the officer's belt, but at that moment the body is dragged away by an incredibly frightening creature. The owner of a used car salon Slasher, having released the next customers, calls his friend to find out about a new competitor in his business. Looking out the window, the man sees complete chaos on the street. People are running headlong to escape from unknown creatures. A moment later, one of the monsters already enters the car dealership, and Slasher successfully leaves it. The next morning, a group of bikers, together with a bartender, inspect the streets. Everything is destroyed around and people's stupids are lying everywhere. The queen notices movement in one of the houses and goes there. Opening the door, the woman sees Slasher, his wife and Greg. They have been sitting in this shelter all night and are now trying to figure out whether they are a friend or a common enemy. Having clarified with the bartender that there is no one in front of him who threw her sister, the queen lowers her weapon. At this moment, a huge bloodthirsty monster appears on the street, which kills the remaining motorcycle in the biker. The rest is tightly leaning on the door so that the creature does not get inside. When a wall collapsed in the building, everyone inside rushed to escape. Running into the house, people find some more survivors who are hiding in the apartment. There is a misunderstanding between them and the biker opens fire. Pip everyone who stood in front of her. She sees a girl coming out of the bathroom. This is Hanny, who escaped from the bar at night in a truck, leaving the others. The bartender pounces on her, delivering powerful blows, but the girl breaks free and pulls out a gun. The biker sees the inscription and realizes that it is Harley's weapon. She doesn't have time to figure out where she got it from, because the bartender pushes the girl out the window. Once on his feet, Henny runs away and hides in the yards. She hides in one of the houses, from where she stealthily watches the monster kill some girl. All the others are moving along the street at this time and come across the shelter of the dwarf brothers. Thunder and Lightning lets in a group of people and shows their achievements. They manage to kill one of the creatures. He still does not assure that in this situation the safest place is the local prison, but the hobo was encoded there. The biker calls the station to negotiate with the man, but he calmly sniffing, "You know what," just hangs up. Slasher offers to make the keys to the doors, because Thunder and Lightning keep their key store. The brothers carefully examine the keyhole of the police station through a magnifying tube. Then they sneak into their workshop and get down to business. The difficulty lies in the fact that the electricity in the town turns off and then reappears. Therefore, the guys have to work on the machine only in those short minutes until the light turns off again. Greg, meanwhile, suggests that the others study the enemy in more detail. He drags the monster's body onto the table and proceeds to dissect it, pressing alternately on different organs. Bon Appetit Man provokes the release of various liquids on people. The grandmother of the dwarfs also falls under the stream of green slime. When the brothers return, her body begins to be covered with scars, and an active attack of unknown creatures begins outside. Thunder and Lightning suggest that everyone urgently run to the roof. It's already dark outside, so everyone is waiting for dawn. In the complete silence of the company, they suddenly hear a child's raincoat. It did not subside all night. At dawn, Greg manages to figure out the place where the baby is. It is tied with a rope and descends from the roof. When he gets to the car, the man grabs the child and rushes headlong back. However, the monsters noticed him and gave chase. Greg, having come up with nothing better, throws the baby up, and he runs on. The baby flies up and one of the monsters immediately swallows it. People watching from the roof do not hide their chagrin, but it does not last long, because the creatures have figured them out and have already climbed up. The company manages to shoot down all the monsters, but one of the bikers was seriously injured. To get rid of the burden, men throw it down, thereby distracting the attention of monsters. Haney tries to open the door of the supermarket, behind which she is hiding. She got inside through the roof, and to get out you need to open the lock. One of the creatures bursts into the room at this moment, but the angry girl fights with her last strength, inflicting more and more crushing blows. Meanwhile, the biker queen makes her way to her motorcycle and drives it onto the roof. The rest at this time are busy building an ejection device that should work from it. They collect it from improvised materials in order to move to the roof of the police station, and from there to get inside and wait for the arrival of the cavalry. When the device is ready, Slasher offers to launch the grandmother of dwarfs on a test flight. Of course, the brothers are against it, but when they see that her body has already practically decomposed, and her limbs have become snatched away by one touch, they still give their consent. Granny flew to the roof, but there she was blown apart by the impact. The others, having made sure that the site is set up correctly, begin to argue about who will go to the roof first. One of the dwarf brothers agrees to play this role. At this moment, Henny gets out of his hiding place. She managed to break the ultra-strong glass of the monster's head. Cautiously making her way down the street, she sees our heroes playing Angry Birds, only by themselves. The dwarf hits hard when landing, and after just a couple of minutes he is attacked by monsters. They gnaw off his legs, but he continues to crawl unwinding on his land. The second brother at this time is getting close to the doors of the station on the street, covered with a metal barrel. He manages to pick up the key that his brother dropped during the flight. At this time, a pipe flies out from under the wheels of the bike on the roof and pierces Greg's head. His mistress, who is also Slasher's wife, throws herself on his neck, begging the others to help. Hoba sees that the dwarf is already at the door of the station, takes dynamite and throws it to the guy's barrel. An explosion is heard, killing the second brother. The responding metal brace reaches Hanny and punches her head. Meanwhile, the monsters are making their way to the roof. People are getting ready to fight, but do they have a chance? Of course not. What the fuck did you read again? I hope Pier 3 will never appear. Or is it already there? Please, at least he wasn't there. Friends, you are great fellows for watching and listening to the very end. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.